God, thank God this season, the football season, is nearing its end. Like, we've joked every week, it shouldn't be work and torture to watch the Giants and the Jets, and we'll get into the Giants in a little bit, but just starting with the Jets, BT, because think about this. Like, here we are 2 years later, nearing the end. It may be the last game in the career of Aaron Rodgers, but certainly feeling like, and I still think it's wrong, I would want him to be back. We could get into that conversation again, but it feels like it's going to be the last game, certainly as a Jet for Aaron Rodgers. Think back to all the conversations that we've had over the course of the last couple of years, not even just you and me, you and Tiki before me on the overnight, whatever. And this is how it went down. Like, I honestly don't even think, even though we can predict year in, year out, like, they're not going to be that good. Like, when you actually look back at these 2 years, which Rodgers calls the best years of his life, and I understand why he would say that off the field, but these might be the two worst years for the Jet fans' life with the expectation that was and what actually happened.
These 2 seasons are in a file all to themselves here. Like, I understand we kind of lump in all these empty Jet seasons with, the coat tights and this. But most of the empty seasons, there really wasn't much of an expectation for anything to happen. And and then there's other years where there's like modified expectations, like, well, maybe this retread could do this, or, maybe if this happens, they could be competitive. It went from being a colossal train wreck and an absolute joke of a franchise to, wow, the Jets are, at least on paper, like the perceptual darlings of the NFL. Let's put them on eight primetime games. And, the Vegas train jumping in terms of the odds where the Jets could get to the Super Bowl. It is, it's just so dispiriting, beyond dispiriting. It's like nothing's going to break you. Let me say one thing. And actually, I did tweet this the other day. And I get it. This pertains to the Giants as well. And I'm there, not that I've never done this. Like, there's a tough game. There's a tough month. There's a tough situation. Here come the tweets. Here come the calls. I'm done. I'm never going to be a fan again. I'm not going to any more game nonsense. You'll be back. Whether it's the Giants picking first, second, or third, or the Jets picking fifth, sixth, or seventh, or when the Jets hired their coach and hired their new GM, everybody who's checked out, I promise you, every single one of you will be back. However, back to the point that you brought up, like, what the Jets have presented to their fans for the last 2 years will push you to the edge, unlike I think anything can possibly push you to the edge to think about leaving a team.
I don't think there could be any more blind faith or hope.
Yeah.
Like, you've tried it multiple ways. The young top pick of a quarterback, the young new head coach that looks like a badass, the retread guys, we've seen that before. You've tried multiple young quarterbacks, trading up for one, drafting whatever. You bring in the Super Bowl winning 4-time MVP quarterback. There's no, you actually have to see it now before you start to get excited. I'm not saying that Jet fans want to use your word, regenerate when they hire a new head coach, whoever that may be. We can have one of those conversations. I'd be excited if they hired a real general manager like Dimitroff, whatever it may be. Sure, but you're actually going to have to go out there and see it, because this was the one thing that the majority of us, certainly before the week 1 injury 2 years ago, the majority of us believed that it was going to be different this time, at the very least, ending the playoff drought. Like, if I would have told you, you would have been like, oh, a playoff drought? What are you kidding me? Of course they're going to make the playoffs. You'd be talking Super Bowl. That's what we were. Mm-hmm. The fact that we're still sitting here and the Jets didn't even have a winning season, not even close, in 2 years with Aaron Rodgers.
I think the biggest difference here, Sal, really, this is the root of the issue, I think, with the Jets, and certainly I think it now resonates fully within the entire Jets fan base. Now, nobody, not that anybody ever really had great faith in him, but now everybody strongly believes or straight up knows that the owner's awful. And to your point, anything that they do, which in the past would kind of suspend the reality of who the Jets were as a franchise, I think even for somebody like me, the whole unkillable thing, hey, I'm not going to sign up for a life of losing. Nah, I'm going to fight through it. And I will, and I'll keep pushing forward. But that blind faith, whatever remained, and not much of it did, I think it's all evaporated. I think even the most optimistic / delusional Jet fan is now at a point where it's okay. can you now get this done in spite of having the worst owner in football?
And the Jets, look, that's a major problem. That's not going to go anywhere. Although, Diana Rossini thinks that, based on the reporting, and we know all these stories. Last time we were together doing the show, we had her on, whatever, talking about how maybe this exposure will now change Woody
so.
for the better. You have to hope that. But when you actually think about it in terms of this year, and you look at, unfortunately or fortunately now that the Jets are going to get set to be picking again top 10, they've had the worst year in the NFL. Like New England was expected to be bad.
Yep.
Tennessee, same thing.
Raiders,
Cleveland, Giants,
Titans.
all these teams. All right, maybe Jacksonville's going to be a little bit better, but nobody was expected to do more and has done less. Niners have had a bad year too, but a lot of injuries there. Sometimes circumstance. Like with the Jets, nobody was expected to do more and has done less than the New York Jets.
Well, the crazy thing about this is not only were they supposed to be terrific, and they are awful, number one, but number two, they doubled and tripled down. Let's trade for Reddick. Let's trade for Devontae Adams. It's real. I mean, you have to laugh at this point, Sal.
I know.
You have to laugh, and once you get past the pain, you've got to come back to the place that's going to get you through, the next situation, and that's really laughter. Because if you don't laugh at this, I don't know what to tell anybody anymore.
Are you going to be, and I can't wait to have this conversation with you because we have not discussed it yet with the Giants as far as their win. The one game that they win was the one game everybody wanted them to lose.
Yeah.
But with the Jets, you got a game coming up Sunday where it's Rodgers' last game.
Yep.
He's looking for one more touchdown to get him to 500. Also a game where you could officially knock Miami out, but potentially cost you in the draft. Where are you at as far as this Sunday final game of the year?
I'm okay with a win. It's different than the Giants situation. I don't want to blur the two.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Giants later. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting there like a devout maniac lunatic like I usually do. And I really haven't been that way, for a while, the last couple of, last 5 games, whatever it's been. No, if the Jets win, okay. If the Jets lose, which is pretty much what I expect them to do, though I do think it'll be a lot closer than the Bills game when they were down 40-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's
God almighty. 40-0, Sal. 40.
Yeah, I know, I get it. But Buffalo had something to play for. They're that much better.
Yeah.
Miami's playing a backup quarterback.
Understood. And then you see the Jets coming out of the tunnel with a boombox like it's Run DMC 1985.
What were they thinking?
The hell was going on?
Playing Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah, I know. So, Coolio. I mean, didn't Coolio pass away?
Yeah, I think
Shout out to the great Coolio. It's not what I would come out to, but I got no problem with Coolio. When I used to love the boombox back in the 80s.
Come on,
when I would play it from my sister's bedroom so we could dunk on the rim in my backyard.
You see Josh Allen in the background.
Of course, he's like, look at these tools. He's like, we got him. Game's over before I even step on the field.
I'm surprised Rodgers allowed that. That had to be.
God almighty. So, I mean, I would say this. I think that I would like to see Aaron Rodgers get his 500th touchdown pass, but
me too.
As much as he's going to try to whistle it into Devontae Adams, I would prefer that Garrett Wilson catches it. I think the symbolism there would be amazing. You know what I mean?
Look, we'll move forward, obviously, but it's just the culmination of football season coming to an end.
Yeah.
And with both the Jets and Giants, and when you think about it with the Jets, it's really coming to an end, the Aaron Rodgers era.
Yeah. Can you hear this? Can you got to listen, though. Can you hear this?
What's that?
We're tapped out. That's every one of us. We're tapped out. Just get us to the next phase of football, please.
I can't take it anymore. We get to watch some real football in the playoffs with real teams. BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Ray is in Babylon. What's up, Ray?
Hey, Ray.
Hi, fellas. Happy New Year. Listen, you want to watch some real football, watch OSU. What a game they had yesterday. But my point about the Jets is the following. Woody and the Jets sucking is just a scapegoat. What happened 25 years ago when Woody's kids weren't even born yet and they couldn't give him any advice because they weren't here to misadvise them? Here's my advice to Jet fans. Get a group of guys. Misery loves company. Watch the Jet games together. We have a group of guys. We're the Barbarians. If I didn't have these 17, 20 guys to watch the games, I would have checked out a long time ago. It's entertainment. We have a blast. We celebrate first downs. Guys, it's
penalties.
I still got to go to work every Monday.
You're right, Ray.
He's got a support group, Sal.
And thank you for the call. I love the way he said that. It is just football. It's not life and death.
It's true.
But where you look for it to be an escape and you look for it to be fun, like there's no part of entertainment when you're watching the New York Jets play football from week 1 on.
Yep.
I mean, you could count on one hand maybe the moments that we were entertained with both the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah, that's true.
So I know what you're saying, like it's just football, and you're right, it is just football. But when you're looking for it to be an escape, the whole point is you want to be entertained, you want to have fun. And I guess getting together with your friends, win or lose, doesn't matter. You're drinking, you're eating, you're laughing, you're betting, whatever.
Yeah.
But BT, this season has been nothing but major disappointment and frustration from a Jets and Giants perspective.
It's been like that's why I said like this is the kind of season that will push even the most ardent, crazy, dialed-in fan, multi-generations to the brink of apathy. Really, I mean, it really. Well, I get it. Now you won't cross that bridge, as I said before. You'll say that you will, you'll threaten that you will, but you won't cross. You won't give up on football. What are you going to do on Sunday? How many times have we said we're going to go apple picking?
Yeah, right.
Honestly, what are you going to do?
No, you're going to watch football.
You're going to watch football, and the bottom line, Sal, is when you decide to become a fan of a team, you all those years ago with the Mets and the Falcons, you don't care as much about. I get that. But the Mets and me with the Yanks, you know the teams, right? There is no guarantee that what we put into it will be equitable in terms of what we get back.
I know.
You just don't know. It is what it is.
But I will say, even with the Jets and Giants for me this year, I'm invested in the storyline. And I don't even want to watch because they aggravate me every single week.
Yep.
But yet I can't help myself on Sunday. Those are the games that I care about most, even though they don't matter.
Well, think about this. Every awful team in the history of New York football, there's got to be a storyline that we gravitate to. Like if you're that awful, generally it's going to be who are you going to draft, who are you going to hire, who are you going to fire. So, yeah, I mean, I guess what's made this a little bit more interesting despite just a mountain of losses with these teams is that, at least from the Jets' perspective, you're getting 2 new guys in here to run the show.
Right.
I think there's a very strong, I think it's upwards of 85% at this point. You have a new quarterback, unless it's Tyrod Taylor, but meaning new, not Aaron Rodgers. And with the Giants, there's a chance that they're going to have to wheel and deal and move up to number 1. And if they don't, they still might take a quarterback. So at least the newness and the potential of freshness and change is there. And that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, I know.
I know. We have had it.
It's part of the story, but we've had that so many times with both these teams picking in the top 10, top 5 way too often over the last several years. And when you actually stop and think about it, I used to like doing this as a kid. I would read the Sports Illustrated preview or whatever, baseball magazine preview.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end of the year, go back because they give all the predictions, right? Like, the Mets will finish last in the NL, whatever it may be. Or if you go back to
they usually got that one right.
Yeah. That was a bad example. But if the Mets and Yankees in the 80s, whatever. So as a kid, I would then go back after the year. And with this Rodgers story to the Jets, like you live in it real time. And what we said 2 years ago was certainly different from where we're feeling now, but it's fun to go back, or in this case, almost depressing to go back and think about where we were all at as a sports city, whether you hated the Jets or not. There were people rooting against Rodgers, or maybe some people didn't want that move to happen, and they proved to be right. But 2 years later, now that the end is here, to think of how awful this went, that is just, to me, it's probably you think about all the other sports, you can encompass everything, BT. This is one of the worst ever. Bringing in Rodgers and having this happen.
You know, I love to write.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
I enjoy writing, right? If you told me to sit down 2 years ago before week 1 of the 2023 season, and he said, all right, have a little fun and just come up with the most devious, painful script that you can come up with from a Jets perspective. Honestly, I don't think that I could come up with something this painful because the Rodgers injury, obviously, then the stupidity of some of the desperation moves like the Reddick and the Devontae Adams. Then, I had no problem firing Sal when they did, but obviously the result of it just showed you it wasn't justified.
Well, sticking with him and then firing him 5 weeks or whatever it was after sticking with, it's just one thing after another.
All of the primetime games, we couldn't even hide. All of the fourth quarter meltdowns, 0 for 6 with a chance, how do you make it worse than it was?
Think about where we were at with the Jets and the feel during Hard Knocks prior to Rodgers going down. All that excitement, the offseason training from Hard Knocks, running out with the flag. And then, boom.
I was at the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, I
when they inducted Klecko and Revis.
Yeah.
And, I hate to say net Jets Nation, but I don't know. That's corny. Everybody says that. But, the grain, it took over. It was palpable. We are loose. We are finally, the shackles of captivity as a losing fan, they have been shed. No, they're tightened even more now.
Charlie's
It's amazing.
Charlie's at Bethpage. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, Charles.
Hey, BT Sal, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Real
Thanks.
good to hear your voices. Moose did a great job while you were away, too, so all good. Being a Jet fan these last 2 years was supposed to be the best part of my 50 years as a Jet fandom, and it's been the worst 2 years. We had such high expectations, and to watch Rodgers go down 4 plays into last year, and then to watch the crap that they put out on the field this year, it's tough to be a Jet fan and support them. We will be there all the time, but it is tough, and it is tough being a Jet fan. That's all I can say.
At least last year, and thank you for the call,
Thanks,
Charlie. And I
buddy.
do think
Happy New Year.
being a sports fan in general brings a lot of misery. Like, we love it; it's an escape, but it also is painful, relative. You know, you being a sports fan, you want to see your team win. The majority of it is losing. 2 years ago, last season, at least you had the excuse from week one where you knew what happened. Like, Rodgers went down, all right, you wanted to be unkillable and believe that you could salvage the season. To me, it wasn't realistic, but at least, like, hey, we lost our quarterback, we're screwed. Unfortunately, it happens. This year is even worse because of the hope of him coming back, all the talent that people thought that they had on paper. To have it just go like this,
He's going to play all 17 games, too, Sal.
yeah, I know. Which is unbelievable because we would have said if he played 17 games, you'd think at the very least they'd be fighting for a playoff spot this Sunday. Like, their game should matter, not because of Miami, because of them. Or maybe battling with Miami for a playoff spot.
They've been buried, like standings-wise, statistically, for over a month. I mean, it's unfathomably.
I know they've been
I
dead
honestly
for a
can't
while.
even, like, it's really hard, even though we did just verbalize 19 minutes of it, it's really, truly hard to succinctly verbalize what the Jets presented to their fans this year.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
We'll get to the Giants side of things, too. We could do that. I mean, it's the same boat. Different way to get there, but basically the same boat as it comes to an end on Sunday, mercifully. BT and Sal just coming back with you here from vacation. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll continue with your calls, 888-808-1019 on the Fan.